Welcome back in. This segment of the Sports Source brought to you by Games and Things. OurGameRoom.com is where you can learn more about this place. The ultimate man cave store is what they call themselves, with good reason. It is a fun place to go, but you don't have to be a man to go down there. There are plenty of ladies who can go in there and go, wow, this is cool. I want this stuff in my home. Whether you're looking for something in the entertainment field, like a pool table or ping pong table or dartboards, big, small, they got that. But they also have good furniture. I mean, home theater seating like you wouldn't believe, bar stools, pub tables, poker tables, on and on. Get down there, check them out. OurGameRoom.com and Games and Things right on the corner of Lovell Road and Kingston Pike. Been doing it for more than 40 years. That speaks to how good the place is. Games and Things. Okay, guys, did yesterday's game or the first 4 games of the season change anyone's view here? Do you feel better or worse about Josh Heupel and this staff? Have you seen anything that makes you think, okay? Or have you seen anything that made you go, uh-oh? Where are you? Because there are a lot of people on Twitter, that was the voice. If you could put a voice to it, it would be, uh-oh. Anything changed in your views, or are you guys like, nah, I'm still reserving judgment?
No, I got it up, uh-oh.
Okay.
The penalties, you touched on that earlier. They look like an undisciplined team to me at times. And I think it's inexcusable that 2 games in a row you've had two number ones on the field.
Well, hang on that one. We're going to get to that.
So that's part of my undiscipline, though. But I just see those things, and that's disconcerting to me.
Well, let me back that up. This is pretty good. This is where Tennessee 2021 there, they ranked, going into yesterday, and it's worse now, they ranked 119th out of 130 schools in terms of penalties. Josh Heupel at Central Florida last year, his team ranked 118th out of 127 schools. The year before, his team ranked 126th out of 130 schools. The year before, his team ranked 103rd out of 130 schools. Now, the interesting thing, the year before with Scott Frost, when they went 13-0, Central Florida, 117th out of 130.
So they're consistent.
So it's Central Florida as well. So you look at that, and I agree with you. It's like, that's not good. Then you look at it and say, well, it doesn't matter. I mean, you mentioned Miami earlier. UCF went 13-0 with that. But I agree with you. I think that's a concern. The penalty thing's a concern.
Yeah, because UCF had better players most of the time with the teams they're facing. Tennessee's not going to have that advantage. So that's why it matters more.
Good
for
point.
Tennessee.
Same with Miami and Alabama right now.
Yes.
Now, Laston, for anybody, it's like, well, you should have heard Kiffin. He's 130 out of 130 this year. So, any chance I get to.
Yeah. So I mean, I think where they're better than I thought they'd be doing defense. I mean, obviously, even though you gave up a lot of yards yesterday, that was more competitive defensive game going into this year than I thought they were going to have. I mean, I thought, coming into this year when you were having the deep snapper in the spring game, your linebacker, right? This was going to be a really bad defensive team. They've been better and more competitive. They still have a lot of weaknesses, a lot of things to get better on, but at least in some parts of the game, they're playing at an SEC level where you're like, they're not just getting run off the field.
And they're being aggressive. Yeah. It's a better coach defense. I mean, Jeremy Pruitt was a genius at defense, and it looked like his defense has just kind of stood back and took it. I'm going to go a little bit more on the positive side, because I like the way that Heupel is scheming his receivers open. And I think if you're making some of these catches when you've got guys open, it's probably going to open your run game a little bit because you're changing the field around. It's going to change everything. I like the way the offense has looked as far as, okay, you've got guys open, but you have to come back to but your offensive line doesn't give you sometimes as much time as you need. Your receivers aren't catching the ball. But the scheme, I'm liking it more than I thought I would.
2 plays last night stood out to me, and I told you this. The Jalen Hyatt screenplay. He lines up basically a wingback slot, goes in motion, runs in front of Hooker, then curls back in kind of a J figure, goes behind Hooker. They snap the ball, continues to run out. It was like an Arena League or CFL 20-yard running start. They throw it to him. Later in the game, they come back, do the exact same formation, the exact same movement, and they run the ball the other direction. It seems small, but he's gotten guys open, as you mentioned. He's schemed them up. I just feel with these guys, once you get a little more talent, and I'm not thinking Jeremy Pruitt, you got to have 4 classes of 5 stars. You get a little more talent, I feel pretty good about this bunch. Well, from what I've seen so far, I may change my opinion in 8 games.
Offense, how it didn't seem like they built upon things.
Right.
It seemed like they're running this, they're doing this. Whereas this offense looks like it builds upon things that it does.
Josh, have you changed your feelings about Josh Heupel and his staff for good or for bad?
No, I agree with everything that's been said in this segment about the positives, especially on the offensive side of the ball, the concerns, the penalties, discipline, all that. I need to see more on the recruiting trail. They need to get more talent. I think that they will, but right now recruiting is not where the coaching staff hoped that it would be.
I had a VFL text me during the game last night who simply said, I will say this, Tennessee is playing better. They are understanding the offense better. The coaches are impacting the team. We haven't seen that here in a while. And then he also said, but death is going to kill us.
Yeah.
He was right. One thing I thought was interesting this year, though, this fan base is hard to please, some of them. With Butch Jones, everybody would sit there and wait for the press conference and wait for a cliche or anything. Heupel doesn't say much, so you got to find something to hate. So what I'm seeing on social media, and people are talking about that 5 o'clock shadow. He's not dressing up. He looks kind of frumpy out there in the hat. Have I know you've heard it. It's been on social media and everywhere else. And I just wanted to point out, I think these people are right. You have to be a good-looking man to win. I mean, for example, you can't dress down. You got to be in good shape. You can't be out of shape and be a winner. You can't dress down like Bill Belichick stole that shirt from a homeless man. And I know Tennessee, the Tennessee fans would never want Tennessee to hire a guy who is unshaven, wears a hat, or dresses down. Yeah, they'd never want that. So I bring this up just to say, if you're looking for reasons not to like Josh Heupel, and you've decided, I'm going to tweet about the way he dresses, you're a buffoon. I'm sorry. That's just, stop trying to hurt your school. People get mad at us. I had somebody tweet me yesterday, you guys should be cheerleaders. That's not the job. Fans should be cheerleaders. Fans should be supporting the school. If you're going out of your way to start picking on the guy for his attire, you got to think about, what are you wanting out of this school? Is that your entertainment more than wins and losses? I just think that's ridiculous. I don't care if he's shame. If the guy's got a great shave and he's 0-12, nobody's going to care. And if he's got a Duck Dynasty beard and he's 12-0, nobody's going to care. Get over that nonsense.
Jeremy Pruitt, people loved him because of the way he talked, right up until he stunk, and then people hated him because of the way he talked.
Orange britches with Derek Dooley.
Derek Dooley in the britches.
Stop
Hire
focusing.
Louis Vuitton.
Stop focusing on the nonsense. All right. When we come back, we got rapid fire questions for everybody, and they're going to be good. I promise. Come on back.